beautiful people. So, I came on here today because I have some things to get off of my chest. Now, these things have been on my mind for several days, intensely for several days. So, if you saw my last video, when I was getting coffee before work, there was a situation at work where difference in perspectives led to, I wouldn't say an argument, but a back and forth, a defensive back and forth. Not so much on my end. My end was more educating. The other person's end was most certainly very defensive. So, I've been thinking about it for a couple of days. And the lesson, I want to talk about two things. One is about being humble and why I do not believe in being humble. Two is the lesson that I learned from the situation. So, I am a very vocal person. I will always voice my opinion, especially if it is backed up by research I have done and or experiences that I have been through. So, mind you, not everyone is living the same life, so someone else's perspective can be backed up by their own research and their own experiences. But I'm not one to just bow down and be silent. I've never been that person. If it is wrong, then I'm going to most certainly voice my opinion. So the lesson I learned from it, I've been thinking about it for a couple of days. Today's Monday. And I feel like I have been in several situations over the last several years where sometimes it's not about being right or wrong. It is more so about being calm or keeping your composure in the moment. So what I learned was it's okay to be right and be silent. Now, not every situation calls for silence, but I feel like maybe on my end, I could have not kept going and not keep egging on the other person. But sometimes when I feel like someone really doesn't know what they're talking about, I'm like, you're actually wrong. It's actually this. Like, listen to what I'm saying. But you have to let fools talk. If someone, I saw a reel several weeks ago, and it was like, why am I arguing with a 3-year-old, right? A toddler. So Soul, for example, is my toddler. He's 3, gonna be 4 in a couple of months. Sometimes there's no point in me arguing and going back and forth with him, especially when we're both saying the same thing. He just doesn't comprehend that I'm saying it a different way, right? So I've learned that instead of being so upset that he doesn't understand or that he's not agreeing with what I'm saying, I just say, okay, because his comprehension isn't all the way there. Like my comprehension, I'm older than him, obviously, and he doesn't understand that we're both saying the same thing. I'm trying to think of an example. I can't right now. Maybe I will later on. He'd say he wants to watch Bluey, and I'm like, well, we're downstairs or something. I'm like, we're gonna go upstairs and watch Bluey in a second. And he's like, I want to watch Bluey. And I'm like, okay, wait, we're about to watch it in a second. And he keeps on saying, but I want to watch Bluey. He gets frustrated. We're both saying the same thing. He says he wants to watch Bluey, and I agree. Yes, we're about to, but my extra words, yes, we're about to, or in a second, he, it flies by him. So I'm not going to go and sit back, going back and forth with him when I know that he may not fully comprehend what I'm saying. But I know that we're saying the same thing. That's just a small example. So when I seen that reel, I was like, okay, facts. It was meant to be funny but serious at the same time. Like, why am I arguing with a 3-year-old? Because they're learning to regulate their emotions. Their comprehension is, still developing. So if you have a grown person that is very small-minded, that refuses to see another perspective, because the thing about me, I actually am able to see any other perspective or all other perspectives, even if I disagree. That is one skill that I have. Most people can't even see another perspective. They can't. They only just see their perspective, and they want to go toe for it, like defend it so hard. And it's like your mind, your perspective is so small, so little. So I knew better because I knew the person I was talking to is very small-minded. So I knew better than to keep going. It's like, why am I going to waste my energy and my breath trying to educate someone on something when they're not even listening to what I'm saying? They were just so ready to defend something that I wasn't even trying to offend. Do you get what I'm saying? But in the moment, like, I'm not towards the end of the conversation, it got to be like, stop talking to me. I said I didn't want to talk about it. And I definitely take that as, girl, stop talking to me, or you stop talking. Like, and I'm like, what? I am not a tuck my tail in between my legs type of girl, type of person. But it's like, it ended up being more funny, and I ended up now adding some fire to the fuel, because you try to little girl me, try to be like, all right, well, since I said I'm done talking about it, this is the end of the conversation, and I'm not going for that. So, reflecting on it for the past couple of days, because it really was it was like a big blow up, really over nothing, for real. Because I'm like, should I just tell y'all what it was about? It was about religion and spirituality. And I think that is a big no-no to even talk about in the workplace. So it's like, I knew better, but it's like, the entire time that I've worked there, I have been silent on things that are false. Not like, oh, this is just my perspective. They are false. False, point blank, black and white, they're false. Now, I'll be letting people, slip, because it's like, in the grand scheme, whatever religion people claim to be, I am spiritual. I grew up Christian, but I classify myself to be spiritual, right? In the grand scheme, the details are different, but everyone is talking about the same damn thing. We're all talking about the same thing, for real. But people are just so ready to they think it's a part of them and their identity. So it's like, oh, you're offending this, you're offending me, and instant red. Like, religion and politics should not be talked about in the workplace, because it is too close to people's identity versus like, oh, excuse me, I like this genre of movies. Or, oh, did you see that show? Yeah, I don't like that show. Or, this is my favorite food. Yeah, I don't really care for that favorite food. It's more lighthearted. And I feel like after religion and politics, next is sports. People are die-hard fans. For some people, they don't even know. We're not getting into that conversation. It's cool to like a team or to like a player and to really support them. But I mean, like, really do too much, though. Like, come on. Everything is just a game. It's just a game. So if you see past it, whatever. Back to the lesson. Now, I learned that, like what I was saying, it's okay to be silent even when you're right. It's really especially when you're right. And you have to let fools talk their head off. Because it's like almost like you're laughing at them. To me, it's like I'm laughing at you in my head. You think that you know what you're talking about. This is not just particular about, the situation that happened at work. I'm talking about in general. Someone comes up to you and they're like, ugh. Like, say you just got your hair done. He's got a nice whatever, got a nice fresh cut, some new color, and this random stranger comes up to you and they're like, ew, your hair is so ugly. Are you going to get offended about it? No, you're not, because you know that your hair does not look ugly. Like, so I have to work on my maturity level in those situations by letting other people think that they're right, even though when I know that I'm right. And it's not necessarily even about right and wrong, more so about being open to perspectives at the same time and having a mature conversation, or being calm in conversations that may be difficult. Um, but that let the fools talk. I was thinking about this last night. Like, I pity those. I pity those who do not know the truth, and I just leave it at that. Like, genuinely, it's like you go so hard for something that, like, anywho, though, that was my little lesson. So I really am going to work on that, like keeping my mouth shut. I don't know where that stemmed from in my childhood, where I felt like either someone in a higher position, maybe I was like, a student and a teacher, they felt like they talked to me crazy, and I always would be like, no, this is incorrect. I got in trouble a couple times. Like, I wasn't a bad kid, but I do remember a couple times in school being like, no, that's incorrect. And just because you're older than me and you're a teacher doesn't mean that you're about to talk to me any kind of way or make me feel no way about something that you're actually wrong about. So I can't pinpoint exactly where I feel like I have to out talk people in those situations, or, because I don't want to say I ever lost my voice, but I feel like I maybe have to turn the volume up, or, maybe I had let go for a second. I had to grab back control of it. So yeah, it's just a funny thing. Now, about being humble, let me look up the exact definition of humble. To be humble means having or showing a modest estimate of one's value or importance, not arrogant or self-important, of low social, administrative, or political rank, lower in dignity or importance. What? What? Okay, I had to take a short intermission. Okay, get back to what I was saying. Being humble, right? I was reading the definitions. Now, later in the definition, when you say, what is the meaning of a humble person? Modest view of their own importance, isn't proud or arrogant, doesn't brag about achievements, open to learning, acknowledge mistakes. Now, that right there, I'm all for learning lessons and growing. Now, I feel like they don't always go hand in hand. You can still learn lessons and still know who you are. You don't have to be humble and think of yourself lower, or not be proud of your achievements. You don't have to be those things, and still not be capable of learning a lesson. So I was told the other day to let go of my arrogance, and I let it slide. I did practice my first lesson in not responding to that one point of view. But no, I don't believe in being humble. And when you know who you are and the things that you are capable of, your skills, your knowledge, who you are at your core, that can intimidate other people who feel like they are not equivalent in those areas, right? So, let me collect my thoughts, okay? The main point is you can learn lessons without being humble. I don't believe in being humble. I genuinely do not. Now, not everyone can achieve the same levels, but not everyone is not meant to. Or your level of success may not be my level of success. Your ceiling might be my floor. Don't let that go over your head. Do not let that go over your head. So, when I'm having conversation with people, I take everything with a grain of salt. I hear what I need to learn from you, what I need to learn. But when someone tries to break me down and humble me, I don't allow that to happen, because I am who I am. And if that offends you, if that makes you uncomfortable, if that makes you feel some type of way, pulls out, brings to the surface any insecurity, that has nothing to do with me. That is work that you have to do completely separate from me. I may have just been the person that needed to show that, like, I may have just been the example that you needed to show that to yourself. But again, it has nothing to do with me. So do not ever be humble. Do not ever let someone try to humble you because they feel like you think that you're all that. And the situations that I have been in where someone has tried to humble me, they're almost laughable, because it's like, I'm so confident, or I'm so sure of my success, whether that is currently, in the past, or in the future, that you feel that you need to give me some sort of reality check. It's just, I'm just not going for that. That's kind of really, I guess, all I have to say for real. I mainly said my main part about learning that lesson. But it's just funny to me. It really is. It really is. I'm by this window right here, getting the good natural light, looking at the trees in the backyard. They're building this house back here. It's going to be a dumb, stupid big house, because they got the house and then they built another house on the side. So I feel like that's going to be like a guest house or something. But, yeah, no. Things that are meant for you. And I'm going to do another video about what I have been doing my 7 years from not being home, because I was a little embarrassed about moving back home. I'm not now. And I was trying really hard not to be when I first moved back down here to North Carolina, but I just couldn't help it. But I will talk more about that in a separate video. I just had to get out that, you know, the lessons I was just speaking about earlier, like it's okay to be silent and be right. It doesn't take your voice away. And I think I was very much correlating the two. Like, there have been times where I didn't speak up for myself and it festered inside of me. Like, I should have said this, I should have said this. But karma also is a real thing. People learn things on their own and you don't have to lift a finger. I have people looking out for me, angels looking out for me. I don't have to work hard to teach you a lesson because what for? We're living two separate lives. So if I feel like you wronged me, there's no point in me feeling like how the Medea movies. I always thinking that part in one of the movies where that white lady took her parking spot, and I very much be feeling that intense about situations. Like I feel like I gotta get you back, and I have matured in a sense of where I don't have to do anything. Like life is gonna get you back in the best way that you need to learn that lesson. And alchemy too, like turning negative situations or negative energy that was imposed on you into a positive outcome, because everything really is positive. It's just your perspective on things or the growth. If you can grow from everything, then every situation is positive because you either got what you wanted from it, which was positive, your definition of positivity, or you got a lesson and it may not have been in the way that you wanted to, but it was essential for your growth. But yeah, so to close this video, it's okay to be silent and be right. And less speaking about the right and wrong. It's okay to be silent without your voice, feeling like your voice is being taken away. And the humble part, please don't be humble, honey. Please do not let nobody tell you you are not all that. You have to know you're all that, because who else is going to tell you if you don't? Like, be honest with yourself. Like, okay, I was wrong in this area. I need help in this area. I could have done this better. I need to learn how to do this better. Like, be honest with yourself, but definitely take credit for what you know that you can do and what you have done and what will be done. Because I will never let nobody humble me, because, honey, that don't work. On me, that don't. It do not. No, being, like I said, being humble don't have nothing to do with learning lessons, even though the definition, try to say that in there. But two things can be true. I cannot be humble and I can also learn lessons. I can know who I am and also still strive to be better. I can be proud of my achievements and proud of myself and not think of myself as low and still strive to be better. So, thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I guess this is considered a diving deep with Des, because I sure have been having a lot of things to say on my mind, and I've been like talking to myself for days. For days. You know how you talk to people after you have a conversation or before you're about to have a conversation with someone? You talk to yourself like you're acting out the conversation and what you're going to say, what you think the other person is going to say. And that has just been sucking the energy out of me. It sure has. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie. But yeah, I hope someone learned something or resonated with something that I said today, because I sure had to get it off my chest. Sure, in complete thought process. It's not just rambling and bullet points in my head. It was going to drive me crazy. But anywho, I was painting my nails, so I just did the first layer. I'm going to do the second layer, and I'll talk to you guys later.